Tonight on the ballot, home of solid minerals gears up for new man at the helm. Government, governors, and governance. Why is the state's top man the most powerful executive? And going back to the village, we ask FCT dwellers if they will be back home this weekend for the gubernatorial polls. It is Tuesday and it's just 4 days to D-Day in 29 states of the Federation. The race to the government house is always keenly contested. This is perhaps due to the closeness of the governor to the citizens and the power he wields in determining the collective aspiration of the people. He is the ultimate big man. These days, there seems to be an increasing interest to interrogate the form, fitness, and credibility of the aspirants to this position, as theirs is arguably the most crucial role in delivering the dividends of democracy to the people. Today, we focus on the home of solid minerals, Nasarawa State. We will attempt to excavate the issues which are germane to Nasarawa's development. Before we do that, we went around the FCT to ask if the dwellers here will return home to perform their civic responsibility on Saturday.
Oh yes, I will be traveling because it's my civic responsibility to vote.
I'll be going to Lagos State, that's Alimosho local government, because that's where I registered.
Because for me, I think the House of Assembly and other elections are more critical to us, some of us who are local people. Those are the ones that relate directly to us as a people. And these are the people we can reach out to. These are the people we can relate with. So I definitely want to be part of that process that will bring those people to power.
Not at all.
No, because I registered here.
Not traveling, I will be here in Abuja. I will exercise my franchise here in Abuja.
I think I'm not into the whole election thing because somehow we feel like we're not being given what we want.
No, I will not, because the one that I travel got me disappointed, and I don't have enough money to travel.
All right, I hope you'll be back home on Saturday to vote to influence local politics. We will be talking about, of course, Nasarawa State and the potentials in that state. But before then, of course, before we went on the break, I'm talking about the polls for the presidential and the National Assembly. We actually asked, Nigerians if they know their parties. Of course, we would get back to that in a short while. But right here in the studio, of course, to discuss about Nasarawa State, we will, of course, be introducing you to our guests in a short while. But, of course, we will also, of course, in the course of the week, try to reach out also to other states as we move towards the gubernatorial polls. As we said in our introduction, it is one of the, it is one of the most crucial roles in a nascent democracy. And we will be talking about how, of course, governors could influence the destination of their states, of course, in the 4-year cycle. Let's quickly go to our next insert, and that is about the knowledge of the parties and their symbols. All right, I understand that also is being prepared as we move on the show. Let's quickly tell you that we will have in the course of the show Aliu Umar Doma of Zenith Labour Party, of also on the way, or perhaps getting to talk to us in the course of the program. We will also be talking to the APC candidate. I'm talking about very shortly. We'll be talking to the APC candidate as Engineer Sule. And in the studio, we have Mr. Labaran Maku. He is, of course, the former Minister of Information, and he's the gubernatorial candidate for the All Progressives Grand Alliance, ABGA. It's nice to have you, sir.
It's quite a pleasure, my brother.
Yes. It's a live show, and of course, we're getting the studio also ready for more guests to come into the studio. Let's first of all talk to you about your plans for the state?
Yeah, clearly, thank you for the invitation. Nasarawa State is one of the greatest opportunities in the north-central Nigeria to grow a state that has the potential to lead the economy of the zone. Since the creation of Abuja, Nasarawa has become a very precious place because of its land resources and proximity to Abuja. It ought to grow into a huge commercial center like Ota East to Lagos. And that indeed is the unique selling proposition for Nasarawa, not even solid minerals. The state is also very rich in agricultural resources, very huge potential in agriculture. It's also a state that is lucky to have one of the highest deposits of solid minerals in the country. Nasarawa is also well located, in the center of Nigeria, with the prospects to engineer a peace, for both Abuja and the region, if it can be properly managed. So Nasarawa has a high potential to be the first league of states in the north. But unfortunately, for quite some time, the potential, especially its location to Abuja, has developed more into slums. We have lost the opportunity to plan and build a huge commercial center spreading anywhere from Garaku right down onto the FCT. I believe that as I come in, one of the most important projects that I have for my state is to make sure that this zone, this proximity, this land resource, that's such a great asset, is utilized to build a huge commercial center in partnership with international and local businessmen to raise resources for Nasarawa State and to create an alternative city for Abuja. But over and above this, my number one priority will be to restore peace to the state. Right now, the state is embroiled in all kind of local warfare, in the rural areas.
We'll come to that in a short
yes,
while.
Yes.
Let's on the line now, we have Umar Ali Udoma of the Zenith Labour Party. Who is right on the line. But let's first quickly speak with Engineer Abdullahi Sule. Glad to have you join us. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me? Okay, please.
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, please tell us a bit about your campaigns in Nasarawa State.
Yes,
and
I can hear you very
how has it been like, the acceptance, and perhaps you can also tell us a bit about your plans for the state. Is it more of the same since your party is at the helm at the moment, or you have something new for us?
Well, thank you very much for first giving me the opportunity, and I apologize actually that I didn't know about the program until today. Otherwise, I would have been there also myself. But what I want to tell you is that what our political party, APC, has for Nasarawa State is in line with our policy and our vision that the federal government also has, because we are also a party at the federal level, we are a party at the state level. When this party came to power in the year 2011, the entire Nasarawa State was more like a rural area. In fact, our state capital was nothing but a glorified local government headquarters. Today, that has changed completely. Nasarawa State has never seen what an industry is in reality until this government came in by going into partnership with other investors. Today, we are having the first industry in our local government area that is going to be the biggest sugar plantation actually in the entire African region. Today, as I'm talking to you, we have seen a lot of peace by our own state government, the APC. Our neighboring states of Taraba, Benue, southern Kaduna as well as Plateau have seen a lot of crisis. So what Nasarawa State has continued to see are more of IDPs, to ensure that peace is maintained in most of those areas and the IDPs are returned back to their various states. Our governor, has received actually an award by AIT, and that is actually not a mean award. Recently, for maintaining peace and security in Nasarawa State. We have seen our universities, our institutions actually, starting with the university in Kefi, which is the state university, going into more and more expansion, as a result of what we have seen. For the first time in history, Nasarawa State now has an institution for the disabled so that it becomes a government of inclusiveness. So other states are beginning to come to Nasarawa State to copy how do you handle your disabled people. Those are the kind of things that we have seen, and those are what we are going to continue to build on. The industrialization of the state, in order to create employment, revenue, and we use our resources. Most of the resources that we mentioned, which were mentioned actually by my brother there, Labaran Maku, when he mentioned about solid minerals. Nasarawa State has the potential to be one of the few states in northern Nigeria to produce oil because of the presence of hydrocarbons that have been discovered somewhere around China. Nasarawa State government is following up with the NMPC to ensure that we do all the seismic acquisition, interpretation, appraisal, and development of oil in that area. Those are the kind of things that we are pursuing. And he mentioned also about the development of Karu local government, so that Karu local government will now be a gateway. So we can now expand and start building a mega city, which the state government has already started working on.
I think you have been able to make your first point, Engineer Sule. While we connect with Omar Ali Doma of Zenith Labour, let me quickly ask Mr. Labaramaku here. He agreed with you on the issue of peace, but there's also the issue of employment for the youths. What exactly is your plan?
Well, as for youth employment, for quite a long time, because of general insecurity, lack of comprehensive plan for training and retraining of youths to equip them with skills that can make them useful, both in the Abuja economy and in Nasarawa State. We've had a pile of people who have come out of school for the last 10, 15 years that have not seen their first jobs, and there is no opportunity to train them. Also because of the general insecurity, agro-businesses ought to be a huge opportunity to employ youths. Contrary to what my brother said, peace is still a major issue. Insecurity is a major issue in the state. I have been going on in this campaign for the past 2 months, moving from one village to another, rural areas. My own kind of politics is different from what you do. You contract people to bring people to the city. I go right to the grassroots to see what, to verify what people are going through. There's a lot of insecurity across Away, South Doma, across part of Nasarawa local government.
Yeah, you just mentioned Doma. You just mentioned Doma. So, sir, let me just quickly talk to Umar Ali Doma of Zenith Labour Party. What is the message? Are you still on? What is the message from Zenith Labour Party to voters in Nasarawa State to convince them perhaps to go your way?
Thank you for having me. And my regards to my colleagues, Labaran Maku and Engineer Sule. The message is simple. The founding fathers of Nasarawa State envisaged a state endowed in minerals and natural resources, as well as human resources, that if properly harnessed, would take the people to the promised land flowing with milk and honey. Various administrations have come and gone and contributed their own quota. What we're going to do in Zenith Labour Party is to build upon those areas that solid foundations have been laid by those before us for the good of the people.
I keep hearing, sorry to interject, but I keep hearing about this home of solid minerals. Where are they to be excavated? What have been done? What has been done in terms of perhaps inventory? And what do you plan to do to turn the low-hanging fruits to actual tangibles?
Yeah, Nasarawa State is known as home of solid minerals, and as you may be aware, the responsibility for issuing licenses and also getting data for solid minerals rests at the doorstep of the Minister of Solid Minerals. The state government only comes in either as a participant or as a facilitator. So what we're going to do is to mitigate the challenge of not having direct access to these resources by also floating a company that would be a player along with other stakeholders in the solid mineral sector. But we have a problem with the authenticity of the data, the commercial viability of these solid minerals. If it was like a walk in the park, then we would have a lot of people from various companies around the world coming to invest in solid minerals, but it's not a walk in the park.
All right, let me quickly go to Engineer Sule. Engineer Sule, let's tap from your knowledge in the private sector. What role will the private sector play in the development of that state in your concept note?
Thank you very much, sir. In my own case, it's not even what role can we play, can we tap, it's what role have we already started. I just mentioned to you, what we have done about the sugar plantation that we are going to have in Tunga. And also what my big brother there, Labaran Baku, mentioned, I have just been to 11 villages in the northern side of Tunga, from Tunga to Ribi to all the areas. Old Tunga, New Tunga, Quick.
I think we have a little problem with the line, but let me come to you. Let me come to you. Okay, it's back. Let's go ahead.
For industrialization. Yes. So when you mention what have we done, concerning industry.
Okay, we're struggling to get Engineer Sule on, but once we reconnect, we will let him make that point. Quickly, we've talked about youth, and now we'll talk about women. What role are they to play if Nasarawa State says, okay, go ahead?
No, I was a commissioner for youth affairs in 1999 to 2003, and we had a very developed plan to promote youth development. The most important thing about youth is education and training. We have to invest heavily in increasing the capacity of our schools, particularly at the primary, tertiary. And
in terms of direct involvement,
yes.
Will you have younger people in your government?
Oh, sure. I mean, I was a commissioner in my 30s. Therefore,
I envy you.
And I know that I did a lot. If I become governor, 50% of the people I will appoint to be young people. I would like to train them along with me, prepare them for leadership, so when I'm leaving, I have a crop of people that I have mentored, that I have trained, that I have supervised, who can lead the state. This was what Sadona did, and left a crop of leaders that continued to lead the North until the 70s. So it is important that we give opportunity, appoint young people who are well educated, well focused, and with sound character to begin to train in leadership. So if I'm elected governor, my commissioners will be largely young and enterprising people that are well educated. But the most important about youth development is that the youth right now, as it is, do not have the skills that will make them, self-employed, contribute to the state economy, and we need to do that training. I propose to set up a huge center, for skills acquisition. I saw one in Katsina when I went on the National Good Governance Tour as Minister of Information. What Shema did in Katsina, I took note of it, and when I was contesting in 2015, my idea was I will bring that center into Nasarawa State and train the best, people with the best skills. You look at the Abuja economy.
All right.
You want to do POP, you bring people from Ghana or from Lome. We will train our youths and make sure that they have the opportunity to engage, to be employed.
Let me quickly, on that note for skill acquisition, let me bring in Umar Ali Udoma, and this will be your closing comments. Tell us a bit about, there's the issue of proximity to the FCT. You are the FCT's closest neighbor. How would you tap into the economic benefits of proximity and access to boost the different sectors of Nasarawa State's economy?
We're already tapped into it.
No.
The present administration has made a number of investments in infrastructural development. And what we're going to do is to build upon those foundations that have been laid and to refine those investments, make Nasarawa State an alternative, or maybe the Karu corridor, Karu-Kefi corridor, an alternative place for investment, place for domicile for residents in the FCT. More like what the Honorable Minister said, what you have in Ota and Ibadan as compared to Lagos.
I
think that's that.
All right, thank you. Wish you the very best of luck in your campaigns and on Saturday. Now let's quickly go to Engineer Abdullahi Sule. Your final words to Nasarawa people at this time. Why should we vote for you?
Well, first and foremost, I think I'm appealing to the people of Nasarawa State to ensure that we continue to maintain peace and unity in the state. And then I'm working on the people of the state to look at the capacity of every one of the candidates and see who has the capacity, who has the track record, and who has done the best for the state. To look at our political parties and see which political party has done the best for the state and for this country, and who has the vision and the will to drive those policies that are going to create employment, create revenue for the state, create the policies for infrastructural development for the state, and create peace and unity for the entire people of Nasarawa State.
Thank you, Engineer Abdullahi Sule, gubernatorial candidate of the APC. Final words in a few lines.
They are male or female.
Well, clearly, I've known Nasarawa State from commissioner to deputy governor until I became minister here in the Federal Republic. The issues about the state development are at my fingertips. The most important and critical program for Nasarawa State to restore peace, contrary to all the claims. I'm telling you, as a citizen of Nasarawa State, there is fear and insecurity in the rural areas. I'll deal with that, fix it, and make sure our state is a peaceful state. Number two, I'm going to create opportunity to rework the economy of this state, particularly with emphasis.
My producer says the time is up, but thank you very much for coming. Many thanks for those who have been here, creeping behind my back to still make sure everything is done in the course of the program. We thank you for being part of it. That has been the ballot for today. What is the state of your state? Permit the pun. If you approve or disapprove, you can make a statement in your state this Saturday. If is my name, we'll be back tomorrow, God willing. Good night and God bless.